Azure projects to get you hired in cloud and cloud security roles. Today, we are going to be doing the first project on our list in our new series where we build cloud security projects with Microsoft Azure. So stick around, subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight into this project. For today's project, we will be creating and securing a virtual machine. This is a great project to get started, especially as a beginner, and to familiarize yourself with the Microsoft Azure platform. So first things first, we're going to be setting up our environment. Then we'll create a virtual machine, which will be a Windows server. From there, we'll test connectivity with this Windows server using RDP. We'll connect to the device using RDP over its public IP address. Once we've confirmed connectivity over the internet, we'll use the network security group to close off connectivity. And finally, we'll block several ports on this device to ensure that our virtual machine is secure. Okay, that's enough talk. Let's begin. Okay, so first things first is to set up your environment. Now, if you don't already have an Azure environment set up, and if you've never set up one before, you're in luck because you can use the Azure free trial. Now, the Azure free trial will give you access and will give you $200 of credit. So don't take this lightly. It is only available if you've never done this before. If you have done it already with your account, even if you're doing it again with another account, it won't allow you on the same device or with the same details. So you can only use this once, so make full use of it. If you have already used this and you no longer have a free account, then you might have to do the pay-as-you-go version and pay a small fee to do this. I, of course, have already done this and I have an Azure account, so I will just sign in and we'll begin this project. So this project is going to be creating a virtual machine and then securing the NSG to make sure that this device can only access secure websites with HTTPS and not have access to other sites on the internet. Now, first things first, you go to virtual machines. If you can't see virtual machines on this tab in the Azure platform, then just search it in the tab above, virtual machines. And it should be the first thing that comes up. Now, we're going to be doing this with a Windows machine. Why Windows? Because we like Windows. And we're going to do this with Windows Server. Click virtual machine, and it says create a virtual machine. We have a couple of options here. Now, if you already have a resource group in your Azure tenant, you can use that resource group. If you don't, it will kind of automatically suggest that you have this virtual machine assigned to a new resource group, and it will create that for you automatically. So I'm going to leave this in the new resource group, and next step is to give my virtual machine a name, and I'm going to call it certified machine. I'm going to deploy my machine in UK South. So it's probably best to deploy the machine in the nearest region to you. The nearest region to me is UK South, so I will deploy it there. We're not going to do anything with our availability zones, and we will leave it as the recommended availability zones that Azure has given us. Let's move on. Now we're talking about security type. We'll also leave as is. Now we'll select the image, and we've kind of got a default here already, Windows Server 2022, and that is what I will be deploying today. And if you want to pause, select something else, go ahead and do that. But for this demo, we'll be going with Windows Server. Now, in terms of sizes, there are so many different sizes to choose from, and depending on the region that you've chosen, some of these sizes may not be available for you to select for this demo. So go to all sizes and find a size that is supported in whatever region you are deploying. In my region, the D2 LDS V6 is supported and is one of the cheaper ones that is supported in this region, so I will go with that. Now, don't forget to select a username and password. Well, you can't because it is required. Go with this username of Caleb. Password will be something that I will not say out loud. And there we go. And finally, this is a very important step. We must allow RDP because for the project that we're going to be going through, we're going to be using RDP to connect to our machine. Once all that is selected, you can go through disks, networking, and for this, there is not going to be much to change in terms of disks and networking. You can play around with this stuff, add more disks. In terms of networking, you can, if you have a pre-existing virtual network already, you can add the machine to that virtual network, but we're not going to do any of that, and we're kind of just going to skip through this all the way to review and create. Once you've reached this point, you are ready to deploy your machine. Have a look and see if everything is in order and select create. Now the deployment is going to take just a few minutes, and if it's taking longer, then you should probably start to question it. Now, one thing to note is that when your virtual machine is being deployed, it is not just going to deploy the machine. It will also deploy a virtual network. It will deploy a public IP address. It will deploy a network security group. And note the network security group, because we are going to be using that to apply some security protocols and to block off some traffic from certain parts of the networks and internet, so that only secure protocols can be used. Congratulations, we have just deployed our first virtual machine. Now let's test connectivity to the virtual machine using RDP, which we have left open for connectivity. Now, first things first, let's have a look at our machine. Here it is, certified machine. Now the machine is running, and if we want to stop the machine, we click this stop button here. If we want to restart it, we have all sort of control over the Windows machine right here in the Azure portal. Now, if we want to connect to the machine, we click the connect button up here, and there are various methods that we can connect through. We can connect through Azure Bastion, which is probably a more secure method of connectivity than RDP, which we're going to be using. Now, we actually want to connect to this device through RDP, which will also mean that anyone on the internet can also connect to this device. Now, here we are in the resource group that we've created for our machine. And to find out the public IP address that we're going to be using to connect, we can click this public IP that has been created for our machine. Now, here is our public IP address. Now, crazy thing about this IP address is that anywhere we are in the world with a connectivity to the internet, we can access this virtual machine. But the issue with that is anyone else in the world can also access it. So you know that by the time this video comes out, this public IP address will not be available. Okay, so now let's actually see if that is true. If this public IP address is actually accessible. Now, if you're on a Windows machine, you can use remote desktop on that Windows machine pretty simply. But I am on a Mac machine. And so that means I'll have to get some sort of remote desktop application or virtual machine application that I can use to connect to the machine. I could either use something like VMware, but there is actually a really cool application for Macs called Windows app, which lets you remote desktop onto Windows machines if you have the credentials for it. So if you're on a Mac machine like me, go to the Windows app, go to the App Store and find this application called Windows app, download it, and you are ready to access your virtual machine. I've already got the app downloaded, and here we are on the application. There are no devices at the moment, but we're about to add one. So to add our new virtual machine and access it, go to the top right and click Add PC. Then I'll paste in the public IP address that we have just made for our virtual machine and click Add. Okay, so this is our machine. Let's see if we can connect to it. So I've clicked the machine and it's now asked me for a username and password. And if you remember, we did assign our machine a username and password. So I'll just put that in. Let's see if we can get connectivity. You're connecting to the RDP host, which is our IP address, 172.187.168.77, public IP. Let us continue. And there you have it. We now have access to the public IP and to our virtual machine that we've created through RDP, not the most secure network. We have to do something about that. But in the meantime, I want to explain, some people might think, okay, what's the actual point of this? Why do people create virtual machines? Why do they do this? Well, let me give one good reason why you might be doing this in the position of a cloud engineer or modern workplace engineer or even cloud security engineer. So in more modern environments, we use cloud technology because it's more accessible, because we can make it more scalable. We can add memory whenever we want. We can add machines whenever we want. We can close them off, and we don't have to invest in the exact amount we need immediately, but we can decide to invest in them when we need them. So this is the case with virtual machines. Now, for example, when a company has a local machine, they often want to migrate that local machine onto the cloud. And this is the exact method that we do this. It is called a cloud migration. We create a virtual machine on Microsoft Azure and replicate the local machine. So we'd come onto this machine and set it up exactly how the local machine was set up. The applications it was using, maybe it was a web server, maybe it's Active Directory, maybe it's the domain controller. We would set that up the exact same way the local machine was set up and add the exact applications and make it look as identical as possible. We'd give access back to the client, and there you have it. That would be a successful cloud migration. Now, as part of this project, you can add a little more to it. Let's say you want to create a domain controller. You can add Active Directory and set that up on here. Maybe you want to connect this to your home network and make it a hybrid model. You can do that through Azure Connect, I believe. Or maybe you want to make some sort of web server with this machine. You can go ahead and do that and document that and extend this project. But for us, we're about to disable RDP and make this a more secure machine than it is right now. So what we'll do next is disconnect from this device, head back to Azure, and disable RDP. Why? Because it is not a secure method of accessing a machine. Once again, because the whole internet has access. So to do this, we have to head to the NSG that was created and that is connected to the network interface card, or basically connected to the virtual machine. So to do that, we go to the resource group that this machine was created in, and we should see an NSG especially for this machine. We click that NSG and we can see here that the RDP rule is allowed and active and is in high priority. So it's one of the first rules that is being read by the firewall. So first things first, we need to disable RDP. And to do this, we can click this little bin icon in the right corner. Or to do this in better detail, we can go to settings and down to inbound security rules, click on the RDP rule and just delete it. And to confirm that there is no access via RDP, all we've got to do is head back to our Windows app and the device that we've created and check if we can still access it. Hopefully, this connection should now time out. There should be no way of accessing this through RDP and over the internet. And there we go, unable to connect. That is good news for us. Now, let's say we want to add some more security rules to this machine to govern the access of this machine. Other than the RDP rule, which we added in through the settings, the rest of the rules on this NSG, network security group, are the default rules that are given to any network security group. So we have the freedom to add our own inbound and outbound rules and sort of create our own firewall. Now, currently, this machine has access to the internet and allows outbound internet access to any protocol and any source. But that's not really something that we want. So let's do something about it. Okay, so let's actually think about some of the rules that we can add to this machine. Now, I will give one example for us. One of the rules that we want to add is we want access to only be granted, say, outbound access. Maybe we want this only through HTTPS and not HTTP. And HTTPS is a more secure protocol than searching the internet over HTTP. You could come across some unsecure websites, maybe something with some malware or something else. So let's try and add that rule. Now, all we have to do is click add up here. Now, this is going to be any port on our network. So we'll leave the range as any. And we're going to put in the destination and the protocol. So we can leave the protocol as any, or we can put this as TCP, and we can put destination port range port 80, and we will put this as action deny and give this a name, HTTP outbound. And you can give this a little description if you want. I might put this as priority 200 instead and add. Great, we have now added that rule. This will deny any access from our machines to a HTTP. Hopefully I've done this correctly. If I haven't and you know better, in the comments section, let me know. Now I'm also going to add a rule for allowing HTTP access. Now we can put the priority as 100 for this one. source any on the network, source port ranges any, destination any, and port range for HTTPS, I believe is 443. 443 is TCP for HTTPS traffic. Okay, name, allow, HTTPS outbound. Now, if you wanted to test this out, you would go and search a HTTP website and see if you get access. Hopefully you shouldn't. And you should also search a HTTPS site and see if you get access. You should be getting access. Now you can play around with this. You can add in your own inbound and outbound rules and test them, see if they work. Maybe you want to give inbound access only to machines on your home network. You can go in and put the IP address range for your home and give that inbound access and remove access from any other devices. So play around with this. This is basically the firewall for your virtual machine and for your virtual network. And as I always say with projects, it is up to you to make this project your own, to add new features, get more and more granular with it, and put in more detail and effort into your creation, because it is your creation. One more thing that I almost forgot to mention: when you're done with creating your machine, make sure to delete your machine and the other resources so that you don't incur costs and end up getting a large bill at the end of the month. So you can delete it here, and luckily it will delete with most of the associated resources. Go ahead and delete it. If you want to force delete it, just make sure it's gone and you're not getting charged for it. It'll take a few minutes and it will be deleted. And if you are an Azure professional or an Azure security engineer and there's some things you'd have done a lot differently in this video, please do let me know in the comments section. I am open to your feedback. This is episode 1 on the project journey for Microsoft Azure project. Subscribe to this account to see more videos like this.